E4G Talks is brought to you by ISECI, Indian Ex-Defence Service Employees Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thanks to its vast veteran network and global and pan-India associates, ISECI can carry out various commerce facilitations and CSR projects across India and the world. Some of ISECI's core capability areas are Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, any ex-serviceman welfare or job program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan related projects, telemedicine and healthcare training and job scheme, Save Water scheme, defense industry SME, MSME cluster and hub development, maritime training and inland water training with job facilitation, Canada study, job and permanent residency opportunity, e-commerce, Andaman and Nicobar commerce opportunities. ISECI's global reach includes countries like Indonesia, Slovakia, Canada, Nepal, Singapore, Rwanda, USA, UK. Above all, it is ISECI's effort to create a veterans brand made by the veterans, for the veterans and made up of the veterans. Every Indian's support is invaluable in this journey. ISECI is a registered society for ex-servicemen's welfare and envisions that every veteran should be a part of India's economic growth story. It is the aim of ISECI to create an enabling commerce platform that will empower and synergize the veterans' talent pool. This is possible only with the support of entrepreneurs, businesses and consultants from civil society. All proceeds, if any, are utilized for the welfare of ex-servicemen and for public charity.
People listen with their eyes because we speak with our appearance. And also, did you know that when we meet someone for the first time, we convey about 7% of verbal communication by the words that we speak? 38% of vocal communication is conveyed by the sound of the voice that we make. 55% of the visual communication is through the body language, that is, gestures and facial expressions. Having said all about this, let me first introduce myself. A big hello to all the listeners today. I am proud and privileged to be part of this E4G In Conversation talk show with eminent speakers on board. A dynamic professional, about 18 years of experience in different industries like aviation, hospitality, NGOs, schools, banks, offering managerial experience coupled with the expertise acquired from hands-on work. Well, my name is Shavinder and I'm fondly known as Shavi amongst the peer. I'm a capability coach, image specialist, a change maker, a motivational speaker, an ISECI senior associate. And I'm glad to be a 4G kid and a proud 4G wife. I always believe that, the real power comes in empowering others. So for all the grooming, personality development, and image consultations, please follow me on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Thank you and stay tuned.
Women are the largest untapped reservoir of the talent in the world. On this note, I would like to introduce our speaker, Miss Umang Pathak. A big hello to all our viewers. Well, continuing with the series of talks with eminent speakers on board on our very own E4G talk show. Being the brand ambassador and anchor of this wonderful power-packed global show series hosted with a vision and mission to showcase the inspiring stories and interesting discussions on varied topics to assure great experience for the viewers. Today's talk show is dedicated to celebrate womanhood and celebrating International Women's Day. Who better than Miss Umang Pathak? Our guest is a dreamer, believer and achiever. I welcome Miss Umang Pathak. A very warm welcome to the talk show today.
Thank you, Chavi. I'm so delighted to be here. I'm so glad to be part of your community. Thanks so much for inviting me to share, my story with you. So I hope, you equally enjoy and find it delightful as I do.
Absolutely. I would like to brief about our speaker today. Miss Umang Pathak is a lawyer, a social worker, a teacher, a student, a mentor, and a mentee. With an experience spanning around 2 decades, her experience has traversed many worlds and great leadership. Umang has founded ESG Advisory Services to focus on reformation, transformation, and action of leadership, governance, advising Indian, that is public and private sectors, multinational companies, foundation, trust, NGOs, with a lot of leadership quality that she possesses. Sustainability and women empowerment through women entrepreneurship, women in leadership, governance, and startups. Her work is women centric. That's what I have learned after reading about her strong profile. So, hello, Miss Umang, and once again, a very warm welcome to the talk show. So, my first and obvious question is absolutely, I would like to know more about your professional and personal, absolutely, that wonderful profile that you have, your entrepreneur journey.
Sure, I would love to do that. And as you can see, it's so varied that I have moved from, education, academics to qualification. I'll just chronologically take you through that. I think professionally, my journey started as being a social worker. I had just finished my PG diploma in law and human rights and, finished my master's in social work. I stepped out to set up my own non-governmental organization, and at that time I got associated with a national campaign for right to information. The central law was not in place at that time, and our idea was to use the Delhi Right to Information Act to begin with, to see implementation of welfare services, the basic services. In that journey, I got associated with Mr. Arvind Kejriwal as well, because he was leading this action against corruption and bribery. So we did a lot of these public campaigns like Right to Water, Drive Against Bribe. The basic idea was to use right to information as the means to find information about the world around us and make sure the schemes are effectively implemented, and so on and so forth. While I was doing this, I started my law simultaneously. So I finished my LLB, and that time I joined Mr. Prashant Bhushan. He's the senior advocate, and he's most famous for filing public interest litigation. So that was, I think, post law, what I started was my PILs and human rights related matters. Then at some point I had to decide to join the corporate world. So I, for next 14 years, worked with the top law firms of the country, and learned the way the corporate world works. And today I feel all this gets culminated into one thing, which is my ESG advisory services that I have established. So all my learning and experience has, I feel, got me here to start this entrepreneurial journey of mine, this startup that I have set.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted to hear that you have a diverse experience, and how you started. And so, would you just also like to tell more what led to the foundation of ESG Advisory Services? I mean, you already told that this is how, but how did it contribute your said objective with this, and your national role of WICCI? That also I read about you. So how did you balance that out, and how did you manage to do both important roles together?
I am still at it, learning every day. I think COVID was the trigger. COVID, as it happened, and the post-pandemic reality that the world came to face was that our world is far from being sustainable. And how do we get there, and the countries and the world has already committed to it, but I believe that each one of us has a role to play. And due to my corporate background, and also it's my belief that today the companies, the corporations, the businesses are in some cases the businesses are even bigger than the countries. They're if you treat the both entities as revenue making entities, there are businesses which are bigger and make more revenues. They have more outreach. They have so thousands of employees all over the world. The kind of impact that the businesses can make. So they are also the part of the solution in that sense that today we are making finding technology and innovation to create products and solutions for the world problems. So my focus is to help businesses become sustainable, through which they can also have an impact on in the community around them, the people that work for them. So this is how ESG came into being, to focus, and especially post COVID, when hashtag Build Back Better conversation was going on. So this had to be done. So under ESG, the other part, as you mentioned, my role as a national president for women, the Legal Awareness Council of Women, Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Women founders, women have a very significant role to play. I mean, we are talking about 50% of the population across the globe and India itself. So I especially focus on women founders and startups to help them, establish their businesses and focus towards sustainability, sustainable products and solutions, and which is what in my experience I've been taught, that women focus primarily on these kind of ventures today. So that's how, Wiki platform helps us to do that. We need firstly use this platform to make conversations with all the stakeholders of the ecosystem, whether that's public sector, government, policy makers, private sector, corporations. So this is how this Wiki platform is sort of blends into what ESG is also trying to do.
Absolutely, and wonderful. I always say the real power comes in empowering others. And
Yes.
you're a true example for that, Absolutely. I feel it's a different pleasure altogether when you see somebody doing that for themselves and you are able to guide them. And me, as I am also, from the field of education and, grooming. And as you mentioned, COVID times have really,
Yeah.
absolutely, if I say, it has helped many of us to upgrade ourselves, gave us time to upskill ourselves, and that's how we have discovered that sky is the limit. There's so many things that we can still do, and we think we can't do it. And your profile as a national president, and of course the founder of the ESG. Absolutely, I'm absolutely getting inspired while I'm talking to that there's so much that. How did you manage to do so much in that that kind of time span? It's wonderful. It's commendable, I must say.
It's just like this. You are there. I believe in collective and collaborative. As I said, each one of us has a role to play. I bring my experience, my expertise. The other people bring their experience and expertise, and which is what Wiki platform is. It's all honorary. It is all pro bono, but women from all over the professions, law, business, marketing, industry, this, that, we have all just composed ourselves into this council.
So, Miss Umang, we are talking about womanhood and celebrating. So, what are your plans that we'll be celebrating this International Women's Day, that is United Nations? What are your how are you contributing to the society? What are the mission and vision you're planning to incorporate? I'm sure every day you do a lot, but anything special that you have planned for that day?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every day we celebrate womanhood, and every day is equally important for us. But the world celebrates womanhood on this United Nations International Women's Day. Plans are many, of course, to celebrate with our women and our even he for she campaigners to celebrate this day with us. At Wiki platform, we are releasing our newsletter, so that is one excitement that we are going to have. And more importantly, we are going to have a digital marathon with your organization, which I'm so looking forward to. The plan is to, this is an app-based run where people from all over the globe are going to run for the cause, which is fempowerment. For people from all, regions and communities, the defense services community, the civilians, the NCC cadets, and everyone that we can bring along together to, take the journey with us, to run with us for this cause. That is something we are going to really enjoy doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to add more to the, what we are planning to do, that's a digital marathon run. You can run, you can walk, you can jog, and it's just an app. It's a click away. You just click on the app, and your name gets registered for free. And run for fun, run for enjoyment. Running is fun for everybody. All those people who want to run. So. And we are looking forward for many footfalls and people to enjoy this. And
Yes.
let's enjoy in a different and in a beautiful manner. Everything is so digital these days. So why not have a digital marathon on that note?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Run together wherever you are.
Absolutely. You're not, and yet you get that kind of globalized, the outlook to the this thing. And of course, there are e-medals and e-certificates which will be given to all the participants. And thank you, Ms. Umang, for, sharing. And I'm absolutely delighted to know that all of us are so excited to, have that.
So looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
And when anybody comes to know, they're like on board to just do this with us. I'm so
Yes.
delighted, so happy that you have put this all together, to bring everyone together behind this.
Thank you so much. It is definitely a collective, initiative with everybody in the arena to take part and enjoy. As we were, mentioning about COVID, everything is, post-COVID, pre-COVID. So it said that, post-COVID era belongs to India. And in your view, what does it belong to demographically? What do you think about that?
So I have complete faith the post-COVID world belongs to women. It is already, we are witnessing that, the women are leading the countries, the countries like Netherlands, Finland, New Zealand. We are seeing what women leadership is, bringing, and how quickly they are able to address. And this is established by research that the kind of leadership the world needs post-COVID is something that is possessed by women. It's not aggressive, competitive. It is adaptive, collaborative, bringing people together, protective, with long-term vision and compassion for everyone, taking everybody along. So I'm totally convinced that post-COVID world is for women to take the lead and make our world better, more sustainable.
Absolutely. आपकी सोच विचार यही बताते हैं कि women power, they're only absolutely powerful, this thing. And I also personally feel that gone are the times when we used to think, there were a lot of competition. Now everybody wants to, work together, lift each other, and that's how it's a different ball game when you're working in a team and making others feel successful. It's a different feeling altogether. Absolutely, that's a wonderful thought that you have shared. And see, another question. See, I like to ask many questions. There are so many questions coming in my mind, but still I'm trying to, to be focused to the interview. What should be our focus for Indian growth story in terms of policy and regulation? That's your forte, where you can give us some insight on that.
We are using our platform to do that, actually advocate for policy and institutional reforms. We have recently submitted our comments and recommendations for the budget before it was to come, actually to create a culture and environment for women entrepreneurship, which should start from education, celebrating success stories of women. And, we have just added Beti बढ़ाओ, आफ्टर बेटी बचाओ एंड बेटी पढ़ाओ, बेटियों को बढ़ाने का भी जो institutional infrastructure that we have to create is exactly what we are focusing to do. India, anyways, for its growth story, is focusing on Atmanirbharta, self-sufficiency, self-reliance. And we also want to do the supply chain, the value chain to the world. We have the youngest population, we have a democratic country, our the governance and legislature and judicial pillars are completely established and supported. We are focusing on ease of doing business in India. So in this growth story, I think what we need to focus is making sure that the 50% of population, which is women, they make their contribution to the Indian economy and global economy in that way by taking more leadership roles, setting up businesses, working, becoming part of the workforce. So that I think should be the focus to facilitate. The government is doing, but we have to make sure that it is effectively implemented.
Absolutely, because now when you read stories about powerful women being, fighter pilots, the stories are endless and it's so inspiring to read. And then you feel that, absolutely you can't be gender biased anymore. I think it will be otherwise, it will be otherwise. But what insight you brought in, that Beti Badhao is another very important aspect. पढ़ा तो लिखा दिया, पढ़ा भी दिया, लिखा दिया, बट बढ़ाना भी है उनको, आगे भी उन्हें किसी मुकाम पे पहुंचाना है, that is very important. Yeah, thank you so much on that. I understand that, how important it is to add to their growth, how much it is for us to, continue. And it's a continuous process. It can't be, we do it today and then we forget about it. So on that note, what is the role that our other pillars of society needs to play towards our Indian growth story? What do you think on that?
Everyone has to start from our socio-cultural, ecosystem as it is, where women or girls are used to, in many parts still seen as a burden because all you think for them is just getting them married and getting done with it. So every aspect of our society, our infrastructure, our pillars, in the sense the judiciary and legal fraternity has to make sure that it's just the administration of justice is quicker and easier for women to avail, that access to justice should be right, especially to the weaker sections of our society. Similarly, media has a responsibility to mainstream these issues, talk about them, make sure we are putting the right light on the right issues instead of making masala news out of things. And everybody has, as I said, a role to play to walk behind the same themes, to make our society better for us.
Definitely, the media definitely plays very important and very, I say, critical aspect to it. The media can make or break the image of anything, and that's how, and I feel, it should be, there's a lot we can talk on that. So at that point, what you've told that is very important that, everybody needs to contribute. It is not one person or one community or one organization's job. It is all we, it can't be I, all of us have to contribute to that. We have almost come to end of the show, but I need to talk a lot with you, and my compliments to you, Ms. Umang, and that wonderful job that you do, and absolutely, as you're a true example of celebrating women in yourself, and that's a wonderful feeling to know that.
Each one of us, whatever part or whatever role we are playing, every bit is important. Even being a homemaker and raising the right, raising our kids well is the most important part.
I think that's the most difficult part. Working women are still, they have escape, but the homemaker doesn't have any escape, So they are absolutely important people who are contributing so much to that. So I would like to ask, a last question maybe. Can you just give few tips to young girls, would like to hear you.
I can just share what I follow, and I feel, it has always worked. One thing is to believe that there's nothing that you cannot do. So do not let anybody else tell you otherwise. Do not give it up without even trying. Do not put yourself in a box. Be fluid, be open to learning, keep reinventing, reimagining, rediscovering your own self, and just follow your heart, whatever makes you happy.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we are absolutely, we have that faith that the young generation are very sought after children. They know what is right. They have that distinctive feeling, and they know how to go ahead. And I always say, redo it, repeat it, repeat it, but do not quit. That is my mantra. I always feel, do not quit. There's a lot that we can do it. Thank you so much, Ms. Umang. And, be the woman who fixes another woman crown without telling the world it was crooked. That's what sums about you, our great speaker today. And, that's what you have absolutely, told us that, how nicely we can, empower others and at the same time feel happy about it. Thank you so much, Ms. Umang, and more power to you. Absolutely,
Thank
more
you
power
so
to
much,
you.
Ravi. I can't express my gratitude for inviting me over, making me just part of your family like that. It is really amazing, and together we can and we will do a lot more.
Let's bring the change that we want to see in the society.
Yes. And to begin with our marathon.
let's focus back to our marathon. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
And we'd
Bye.
love to, absolutely host you again on different topics that we can share and enlighten people on that.
I would be more than happy to just sit and chat with you like this, On
And I'm absolutely happy today. My viewers are going to feel very happy. They have so much to listen and get share that knowledge and understand that. Thank you.
my wishes to you, your community, and keep up the great job.
Thank you.